Let's find the equation of the hyperbola that has vertices at plus or minus 1 comma 0 and the asymptote of plus or minus 5x. So it's, first of all, it's good to just kind of draw a picture. So if the vertices are at plus or minus 1, 0, that means I've got a vertex here, that's 1, and here, that's negative 1. And if those are my vertices, then what kind of transverse axis? Is it a horizontal transverse axis or a vertical transverse axis?
Major axis is in the x-axis, so it's got to be horizontal.
It's going to be a horizontal transverse axis, HTA as we will call it. Horizontal transverse axis, and then it says the asymptote is plus or minus 5x, which means I go up 5, rise over run, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. That point right there, and this point right here. And let me draw those in, what that means. So that is going to be one of your asymptotes, and that is going to be one of your asymptotes. Notice it's going through 0, 0, because where's my center?
0, 0.
My center is right in between my two vertices. Those are the vertices, and that's my center, so my hyperbola does something like, it's pretty wide, it opens up pretty wide. Whoops. It goes like this, because that's what those asymptotes do for you. So there's my hyperbola, something like that. So now they want us to write the equation for this hyperbola. So here's all your formulas right here. Notice it's a horizontal transverse axis. So notice that I need to find A, B, I need to find A and B, which are, by the way, based on C. Your formula is C squared, which is the distance. Look at the picture here. It's the distance between the center and the focus, or the focal distance, equals A squared plus B squared. And B squared is related, if we go back to our picture, this is going to be, if you drew a box, let me draw this in yellow. If you drew a box, actually let me just use this. If you drew a box right there, whoops, that's not good. Let me draw it with a line. That, and that. That box right there tells you all of your A, B's, and C's. In this case, my A is going to be right here. That's A. And my B is the distance from here to there. That's B. And C is the distance from here to the focus. That distance is C right there. And the relationship is that C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So in order to write my equation, which is what they want me to do, I have most of my equation ready. The center's at 0, 0, so that makes it easy. It's a horizontal transverse axis, so I know I'm going to use this equation right here. And all I really need to find out, I already know what my A is. My A is 1. I just need to find out B, and I find B by using the quadratic, or the Pythagorean's theorem with this relationship, C squared equals A squared plus B squared. So what is C? And what is B? Actually, I don't even need to. B, I can see what B is right here. What's the distance up here?
5, so it's going to be 25.
B is 5, right? So B is 5, A is 1, and so my equation I can write is, again, horizontal transverse axis. Notice that the negative goes in front of the y term. The positive term is the x. So I'll write x minus h, which is 0, because the center's at 0, 0. So it's x squared all over 1 squared, because that's a, whoops, not plus, minus y squared all over 25, because that was b, equals 1. And that's your equation. Let's try a more difficult one. Let's do this next one. It says the vertices are at 2, 0, and 6, 0. So let me make these in red. 2, 0 is there. 6, 0 is there. Those are the vertices. And the foci, or foci, some people say foci, some people say foci, faux. There's 0, 0. Some people say that. And there's 8, 0. So notice that they're giving me that my transverse axis is going to be horizontal again. So again, it's going to be this equation right here, the horizontal transverse axis. Notice that they've given me essentially the center. Where's the center point going to be? I'll make this blue. The center is where will the center be? It's going to be right in the middle here. It's going to be at
4, 0.
4, 0.
Yes.
4, 0 is my center. So that's my H and my K in this equation. And then you can see the AB, or C squared equals A squared plus B squared. This, I'll color code it again. This right here is what letter is that, A, B, or C?
A.
That's A. And what letter is this right here? A, B, or C?
C.
C.
C. So I can find B. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. I've got to do a little Pythagorean theorem work here. So that distance is 4. 4 squared equals 2 squared plus B squared. And so I get 16 minus 4 is 12.
Where did I get 9?
B squared equals 12. Be careful with that math. And so it's the square root of 12. B is the square root of 12. Actually, B squared is 12. That's really all you need, because now my equation, all I need to do is use my H and my K, my A squared and my B squared, and put them in there nicely. Make sure that the X is the positive term. So my equation would be X minus 4 squared all over A squared, which is 4, minus Y, oops, I don't need that, Y minus 0, which is just Y squared all over 12, because that's what my B squared is, equals 1, and there's my equation. Now if they wanted the equation of the asymptote, there's your equation of the asymptote right there. It's Y equals K plus or minus B over A, parentheses X minus H, which is essentially just the point slope form of the equation of the line, if you remember back to Algebra 1. So that equation, in fact, you can look at that equation right here. If you see it, you can see what's going to happen. B squared is 12, so the square root of 12, which is less than the square root of, it's between 3 and 4. So you're going to go up between 3 and 4 up.
See anything?
Good job.
Thanks.
Whoops. Yeah, like this. And your lines are going to go through like that. So this is B, and so the point right here, there's your center. H comma K is your center. So you remember this formula: Y minus K, which is 0, equals X minus 8. Whoops. Equals the slope times X minus H. And what's the slope? Well, I went up B and I went over A. So it's the square root of 12 over 2, which could simplify down because the square root of 12 is really just 2 square roots of 3. So those 2's cancel out, and so this is just the square root of 3. So Y equals plus or minus the square root of 3 times X minus 4. That's the equation of the asymptotes, if I didn't make a silly mistake. That's how you do those problems.